Hey, it's John here at the Peddler with a new podcast for Down Home Discussions. I am being joined today by Carl Holder, the chairman of the Paris-Henry County Bicentennial Committee, and his sidekick here, Jackie Jones, who is the Secretary of Media Relations person for the Paris-Henry County Bicentennial Committee. And see, I did not mess that up one bit. They are here to let us know everything that's going on. We've got a lot of things coming up for the Paris Bicentennial this year.
That's true.
Correct. When is the big anniversary day?
Actually the 200th birthday of Paris will be September the 30th.
September the 30th. All right. But between now and then, we've got a thing or two going on, don't we?
We've got a lot going on. We've had a lot going on since
Yes.
November a year ago when we started all this to recognize the founding of the county. So we've decided to make this almost 2-year event. Events of celebrating all kinds of things. And we've got a lot still to go.
Great. Well, start us off. And what's the first thing? I know we have done a podcast with Dan Knowles about a concert. Tell us about that concert.
It's coming up February the 4th, and it'll be at the Academy. And we're excited about this. It's going to be just a good overview of a lot of history that pertains to the time period that we're celebrating. And we hope everybody will come. It's only $10. We will have tickets available at the door, and we will be selling them at a couple of locations that we'll announce later. But February the 4th, 7 o'clock.
All right. I sure hope between now and then he learns how to play that banjo.
I think he needs to
a little better.
practice, don't you?
I do too. I do too. After February the 4th, what have we got going on?
A couple of things that we have. Something you mentioned earlier was the book that
Right.
we've been promoting for a year and a half.
Looking forward to the book.
It has gone to publication. A lot of people have wondered about why it has been delayed. Began by asking people to submit their family histories, and a lot of people kept saying, "Can I still submit? Can I
Right.
still submit?" And that was fleshing out the book. So we let people continue to submit.
That just takes time.
Yeah, you know that.
Oh, yeah.
Big publications. And then, after we took a great deal of time doing that, extending the time for ordering the book, so now we've been getting into publication. All the information has been submitted. We're still kind of editing some of the local information, and then the book is basically in publication.
Right. That'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing the book. I did a brought up for our church in
right,
there.
good,
So
good.
I
We'll
am
have
excited.
Jackie autograph your copy.
Oh, well, that will make it invaluable then.
Well, we need to have Stephanie Taylor autograph it because she has really been the one that has spearheaded this part of it.
Well, if you need something like that done,
She
she
can
is
do
the
it.
person to go to. so.
Fortunately, she has a person who works in the archives by the name of Beth Fay. And of course, Stephanie unfortunately had a serious illness
Yeah.
during this time, and Beth stepped in and did an
that's
admirable job in picking up and going forward.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to give her credit for her
Well, that's
tremendous
good.
work.
That's good. And Stephanie needs to know we don't have time for her to be sick. She's,
No.
she's got to stay well.
She didn't check with us.
No.
She
You
pulled
know,
out.
she's like that.
Yeah.
So, what else we got going on?
One of the things that we want to do, and we've had to delay it for a little while, there was a black soldier who died at Camp Tyson, and his grave was never marked. He's
Okay.
buried in Maplewood. We want to mark his grave. We've been working with the Veterans Association and not getting anywhere really. Part of it, I think, is because a lot of the records for World War II veterans in this area was destroyed in a huge warehouse fire 25 or 30 years ago.
Oh,
But the only reason I know my father was in the service is because I have his sergeant stripes and his DD 214 or whatever you call that.
wow.
So anyway, we've had a lot of trouble trying to verify that. So we may just go ahead and mark ourselves instead
Right.
of continuing
Waiting.
to pursue.
Right. Well, it's kind of one of those. It's the right thing to do, so let's just go ahead and do it ourselves. So.
And I talked to Terry Fuller today, former city commissioner, and he is going to be the one conducting a ceremony for that.
Oh,
for the
all right.
center. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, great.
We also have a quilt show coming up,
All right.
and you can imagine the level of expertise I have on that subject.
You've been calling it a blanket show, right?
The blanket show. Yeah, I bet some of those ladies would disagree that it's not just a blanket. It's those are a lot of work.
I
Yeah.
have found out that the tremendous talent that goes into making those. In fact, a close friend of mine, I didn't know this, but she's kind of the major league around here in
Who's that?
terms of Doreen Bryant.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and Doreen has had her quilts have been shown nationwide.
Oh, nice.
In
Nice.
D.C., in New England, all up and down the East
Oh,
Coast.
great.
Unfortunately, she doesn't have any quilts available because she's always got 5 or 6 orders.
Yeah. Now, where is that going to be?
That is undecided. We're
Oh, okay.
trying to negotiate with a couple of different venues.
You'll probably need a large place for something
Yeah,
like that.
and we need security too, and by that
Yeah.
I mean, these are
Yeah.
priceless, and
You want
we
people
need to,
handling
right,
them.
have a lot to consider on how we're going to have volunteers take care of, and the location is real important. So we're
Right.
still working on that.
I can believe
Since
that.
you've got plenty of warning, we'll be expecting you to submit as well.
Oh, well, then I better get started this afternoon when I get home. I don't know that I have the patience to do a quilt. That's somebody who's willing to put in a lot of time and effort and to make those
And
beautiful.
speaking of quilts, one of the groups that we've reached out to make sure that they're included in all of this bicentennial is the schools. And Mr. Flynn Watson's class out at Henry School made a quilt. And it's
Oh,
just
nice.
beautiful.
Oh,
And
wow.
we've been able to show it at the fair. We had a booth out there, and just to different places. And we've also had another school that's come to us recently, and they also have a project they're working on. So we're anxious to see what that looks like too. So that all sort of goes together.
Well, good. Maybe that's one of those things that won't die out on this generation.
That's
If
true.
the young people start quilting, maybe that'll catch on and stay
Exactly.
with them.
In fact, one of the nicest things when we had it on display at the Oktoberfest, a young girl came up to, I think it was you,
Mm-hmm.
to Jackie, and she said, I made that one.
And she showed it to all her family who had come out there just to see the quilt, and
Oh,
they all had to look at it and touch it, and so good memory for them.
well, that's great. That is great. Anything else we got going on? Is that about everything? Or-
Well, of course, the big finale will be on the 30th,
right.
and
September 30th.
we could say we're still open to ideas. And,
Okay.
I'm looking at several possibilities as to how to celebrate that. Or we could say we've got a really good plan, we're just keeping it close to it.
I think that's it. It's top secret right now, all the surprises we're going to have for that. So,
Now, actually, we really do want people to talk to us. I mean, you can talk to any of the committee members. We're open to a parade, whatever you think would be a grand finale. We need to hear from you. We want it to be what you want it to be.
yeah.
Because it's got to last at least 50 years for us to remember it. So,
That's the truth.
Or another 200 years
Right,
to
Well,
do
right.
that's the truth.
Right.
We'll leave the next 200 years to try and top this one. That's they'll need
Exactly.
another bicentennial to top
That's
what we
right.
come up with.
That's
So,
right.
how do they get in touch with you if they want to give you some ideas? Do we have emails, or do they go by City Hall, or what do they do?
Well, the P.O. box address of the Bicentennial is P.O. 535. I hate
Okay.
to use snail mail.
Right, but
Well, it is 200 years ago. but-
well, this is true. That may be the best way to do it. P.O. Box 535 Paris
Mhm.
Yeah.
to send your ideas for the
grand finale.
the grand finale. We want it as grand as possible.
As you want it to be. Right.
Yes. Well, I know I surely appreciate you guys coming by. As more events get planned, how about you guys come back and
We'd
tell
love
us
to.
about them?
We'd love to.
As we get things going, send us pictures. We'll make sure we get them in the paper. And but again, I want to say thank you to Carl. Thank you to Miss Jackie. And I hope everything is a great success, and you let us know how we can help, and we'll be there to help you.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching. Make sure if you have some ideas for not the cat, for the bicentennial, just get with us, and we will. You can even come by the peddler here and let us know, and I'll make sure and pass them on. But we appreciate you tuning in today. Thank you so much, and have a great day.